Hey everybody, Kevin Elliott here with Home Dabbler. One of the most common repairs out there is repairing holes in drywall. And the most common drywall hole repair comes when you want to move a photo or a picture or a mirror from one place to the other. So I have here on my fake wall, I have a picture that I want to move, and you take it off and oh no, you have an anchor in the wall, or maybe a nail or a screw or something stuck in there. Okay, so you know that when you remove that screw, you're going to leave a hole, and it generally doesn't make a flat hole, it makes a little bump in the wall, right? So what do you do with that? How do you actually make that a proper repair so that it disappears, so you don't see it down the road? Because we've all been in people's homes, and maybe your home, where you look down the wall and you can see the trail of all the old, where the old screws used to be, these little pock marks, these little bumps all down the wall. Well, we're going to make sure that doesn't happen to you. So here is the most common, or the very best way to repair an anchor in your wall. The first thing is, don't remove the anchor. Okay, a lot of people do that. They'll back the whole anchor out. Now they have a big hole and it gets weird. So leave the anchor right where it is. Just remove the screw. Okay, that's the first step. So I have my handy power drill. Take the screw out. Okay, so now I'm left with just the anchor, the plastic anchor in there, and yeah, it's a little bit raised up, and so you don't want to start going over this with it like that, because the anchor is above the surface of the drywall. Okay, so if this was were a nail hole and you back that out and it leaves that little bump, if you start putting, say, spackling or some joint compound or something over the top of that to patch it, you're actually going to make a big hill, a pile, because you aren't really below the surface of the drywall. So here is the pro tip. Here's how you actually make those disappear. Leave the anchor right where it is. Take a hammer and gently knock a divot. Don't knock it all the way through the wall, but gently bang on that anchor until it goes down below the surface of the drywall. Okay, like this. Watch. And you see there, it's starting to go in. Watch. Okay, now look, you don't bust all the way through the drywall. You don't make a hole, you make a dent. Okay, you see where this is going? So once you have your dent in the wall, then you take your lightweight spackle. Now, let me tell you about spackle. There's lots of things you can patch a wall with. I love lightweight, fast dry spackle, they call it, okay? Joint compound is another one. Joint compound is what they actually use to put your drywall up on your wall and to go cover over the seams. I don't like drywall compound for small patches like this because it takes a long time to dry, and also too that they don't really sell it in small containers. They sell this lightweight spackling in these little containers. Keep it in your house all the time. I use it for all sorts of things. It dries really fast and it will dry nice and smooth as well. Okay, so you take your lightweight spackle. Another thing is your spade here that you're going to use, the putty knife. I like the metal ones, okay? They sell the plastic ones that you can get. I like the metal blade because it has a little spring in it, but it's also stiff enough that it gives me some good control. So I keep this around all the time, just a little metal blade. You want to make sure you get one that will actually fit down in your spackle. So load up some spackle. Now watch this. This is the real power of that little dent. Now watch. When I stick that in the hole there, okay, it's a bit of a mess, but watch this. See, it's starting to fill the hole. Now, a little bit more. See what happens? I'm starting to fill in that hole, and it's flat. It's flat, look. See? Now, you don't end up with a big bump on your wall. You can sand that down. This will dry in probably 20 minutes or so. Take a sanding sponge or some light sandpaper, something like that, some fine grained sandpaper, and go over that. Sand that down. Now this is crucial. If you want that to really disappear, is after you sand it, it'll be totally flat now because you made your little divot in the wall. Now, if you really want it to disappear, is you have to prime it. Don't just go with your paint over the top of that, because there's something called flashing. What basically happens is that the drywall here has been primed, it's been sealed, and then the top coat of paint goes over the top of it. If you don't prime that, you actually end up with two different surfaces, and the light reflects off of it differently. So you'll look down the wall and you'll see these little dull spots in your paint job where these patches are. So make sure that you sand that, prime it, and that patch will completely disappear. Okay? So that's how the pros do it. Lightweight spackle, a little dent in your wall, and a nice metal putty knife, and you are patching holes like a pro. If you have any questions or any trouble at all, certainly message me through the Facebook page. I'd love to help. Thanks.